Welcome to Modern Druid Podcast, hosted by our husband and wife team. Me, Morgana, and my husband, Eric. Modern Druid Podcast explores spirituality, creativity, nature, ritual, healing, art, philosophy, and modern life through the lens of contemporary Druidry and deep human connection. We are proprietors of Modern Druid in Nyack, New York, creators of annual fairs Druid Fest and Spirit of South Broadway, makers of the Sulphur and Mercury ritual scent line, editors of Modern Druid Magazine, and so much more.
Featuring meditations, conversations, interviews, and explorations with artists, healers, writers, mystics, and visionaries. Each episode invites listeners into a thoughtful dialogue around meditation, mythology, animism, plant wisdom, creativity, ecology, art, architecture, food, ritual, and the unseen threads that connect the human experience. Welcome to Modern Druid Podcast.
Welcome to the first episode of Modern Druid Podcast. We're pretty excited to be launching this. We have had in the past opportunity to talk to an audience under Positive Occult Podcast. So any of Eric's old followers from that podcast, welcome to the Modern Druid Podcast. We decided to come back on the air as a way to discuss all of the many things that happen and come through our shop every day. We're also launching Modern Druid Magazine. And while there are several topics that work well in print, there's always so much more to say about things. And so having conversations that allow us to expand beyond the printed word, because we do like to talk so much, don't we, darling?
Yes, I guess. I do. So I trail off into different things. My mind goes in different directions. No, I'm really excited. I mean, not because of the beginning of this podcast, but also that we are going to be launching a magazine in conjunction with it. Some of the topics will be talked about on the podcast, some of them won't. And it's really exciting because, so what I think about makes our podcast, it's going to be different. And people probably always say that about their podcasts, is we're not only going to be talking about magical things in Druidry, but also different paths, which people say, well, a lot of people talk about that too. But we're actually going to be talking about food and lifestyle, architecture, natural things of the modern Druid, I guess you would say, right?
You know, what has become really clear to us in preparing the magazine and just living the path, just living the Druid path, is that, you know, Druidry is all encompassing. There's a beautiful phrase in the Druid's prayer that talks about the love of all existences. And I think why I'm so connected to Druidry is that it's a philosophy that is completely agnostic to the spiritual beliefs, right? You can be a Jewish, Catholic, Islamic Druid
or an atheist
altogether. Yeah. I mean, Druidry it's not a religion. It essentially just boils down to honoring the natural world and all of the things that live within it. And so that obviously is a, very wide reaching. It allows all kinds of topics to come in. But it also really honors our creativity. And that creativity manifests in so many ways. And through, you mentioned food, right? And that's because we had a conversation about all of the wonderful things that we can, include in the magazine around lifestyle, right? Just living a lifestyle that is more in harmony with the natural world. Food is the basis for that. It's our nourishment. It also is a highly creative process for those of us that love to cook, right? What does it mean to create a recipe or tinker with a recipe or create something anew and then actually consume it, eat it, right? And so everything from selecting the produce to transforming it in the pan or the oven before we consume it, and then it is transformed into the energy that we use every day. It's just wonderful to go through those threads, right? Those connections of our human existence, art, architecture. There's just so much ground to cover with that. How we live, the things that we observe, that we see in our world, the things that we hear through spoken word, through poetry, through song, through music. All of these things are absolutely inherent and encompassed in walking the path of Druidry. And so how wonderful that we get to explore all of these different avenues, all of these different paths, and share that with a wider audience here through a podcast, as well as in printed form, as well as in the physical form embodied at Modern Druid in Nyack.
Yes.
And our various festivals. talk about that in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited about this whole thing. I think we love talking to people and in the when they come into the store and hearing people's, I guess, journeys and where they're, I guess, exploring different parts of their life. And this is a great platform for us to, I guess, share those experiences with the audience, and everybody else. So the store was what's amazing to me is, and then if you haven't been to the store, we hope that you can eventually come to the store.
Modern Druid, 60 South Broadway, Nyack, New York.
Yes, yes, because it's such a magical place, and people come in there and they just like their energy just changes, or maybe their energy doesn't, because maybe they're just not in that place yet. Some people, we walk in and out, they don't know what, they just don't understand it yet, but that's okay. But the energy that we do have there, and the people that do come there, just a place of peace, and people can feel that they can be their authentic self, and then meet some great people in there, the great readers we have, and the great family and friends that we have there. I think it's so welcoming, and even to animals. We love the dogs and Mochi. I'm going to give a shout out to Mochi, our black cat that comes in. It's really funny. People think it's because such a, I guess, a witchy kind of place, and they see a black cat in there.
For some people, they view us as a sort of a a witch store. We sell herbs. We have essential oils based on the OM, OGHAM, which is an ancient Celtic alphabet. We'll talk about that some other time. We have an art gallery in the store as well. We carry a lot of local makers and artists, and so that creates its own sort of energetic current, in supporting the arts, the local arts in particular. And to your point, when people come in, they're sort of like, what is this place? And we often say, well, what is it to you? And they say, It feels really peaceful in here. And that's really, by design to some degree, but also just a very natural state within the store itself.
Yes.
It's an old building. It sits on the corner of Hudson and South Broadway. Hudson runs down to the river. And so we have the, beautiful energy that comes up from the river and sort of absorbed into the store. The fact that we're on a corner, we're sort of at this crossroads.
Surely, I never thought of that. That is really,
some beautiful energy.
Heck it.
And then, of course, we have the beautiful lead window, that half moon window that sits above the right-hand side, of the store. Well, if you're in the store, it's on the right-hand side. If you're outside of the store, it's on the left.
Sure.
But that lead glass then just, casts these beautiful prisms and rainbows around the store every morning as the light comes in. And then, of course, we're always playing healing music in there, and we have the essential oils.
And it always smells really good in there.
Yes.
And people would say, it smells so good in here. And I said, yes, that's me. That's my joke. That's always my joke. And then everybody's like, ha, 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 ha. And then
they're like, no, really? What?
No, really, it is me. So, but anyways. So, we have a lot of fun there too. And sometimes we have events there.
Yes. Yeah. We are always doing some classes, courses, workshops, and things going on in the store on any given day. And then, of course, readers. We have readers Friday through Sunday, sometimes Thursday through Sunday.
And I do the aura machine, which is
a
very rare machine that's only probably in a few places in the United States, I'm sure, right? Because it's not very
relatively
speaking. It reads off your electromagnetic, I guess, your body, right? And I don't want to go too deep into it, but it reads your aura. And also, so I do that. And then I also have my mindful compass counseling, which I'm doing and kicking off. So we have some amazing and really, I guess you would say, helpful tools, right, to help people in their journey.
That's a great word to use too, right? They truly are tools. When people ask us about magic, or they talk to us about what exactly is spirituality, what are these things. Sometimes people will come in and say, oh, do you have a candle for this? Or, can you help me with a spell for that, or an intention for this other thing? And we always say to them, you first must realize all of these things are simply tools. It's simply a way of focusing your energy on the intention of what it is that you wish to bring into form. So the lighting of a candle, for example, is a ritual that you do to be able to think about what it is that you are trying to manifest in your life. Lighting a flame really connects you to that intention, watching a candle burn down, contemplating that, feeling into it. Those are the things that literally create your manifestation. They create the magic. And so all of these things are tools. And to your point, Eric, being able to do aura readings, being able to do some spiritual counseling, getting a psychic medium reading or an oracle reading or tarot or astrology, all of these things are ways of supporting what it is any person truly wants for their own lives. But none of that helps. None of that will matter if the person themselves is not open and willing to make those changes or to be able to listen to that advice and guidance and follow down those paths themselves. So we're really here to support people in their own journeys and help sort of guide the way through tools, through advice, through guidance, through some of the spiritual counseling. And that opens up so many conversations. You had mentioned earlier, people come in and sort of share their stories, and that's truly what happens. I think people feel relaxed enough to be able to engage, and we show up authentically. When we show up authentically in our lives, it allows other people to show up authentically too.
Definitely.
Right? And that's where a lot of sort of the masks drop, and people really just want to have these deep and heartfelt conversations.
A lot of crying sometimes.
A lot of crying sometimes.
I remember
especially with readings.
I remember one time you called me up. You're like, this person came in, and then like 4 of us just sitting there crying about what's going on. I'm like, really? Like everybody?
Everybody had a good cry.
Well, I mean, because everybody can be open, and there's no judging in there. That's the beauty of our place.
Now, of course, you mentioning crying is going to allow me to go down the rabbit hole about the science of tears. What exactly is contained within tears?
Ooh,
and this is what we mean about having a Modern Druid podcast, right? Being able to talk about all these things, right? Science is endemic to Druidry as well.
Oh yeah.
And so when we look at the science of what goes into tears, it is truly a cleansing process. The water that is expelled through the eyes contains all kinds of components and hormones and various other enzymes, etc. too, right? That is very different to water as it exists coming out of your tap or in a river, etc. So the biological process of crying is actually to help release some of the stress, the grief, and everything else that is stored in the body. So a very cleansing process. A very unique process.
We're gonna have to have a whole podcast on that.
Yes, about biological cleansings.
Yes. Yes.
God, that could be a fun conversation.
Quickly, let's just talk about, we had a Druid Fest this past weekend. It was our first one, and Morgana put it all together with her amazing work, and it was going to rain, and it did rain, and we were like a little bummed out, but like a true soldier, she is pushed on. I mean, you can't, we have to do it anyway. So everything, but she made some very quick logistical adjustments, and we had this beautiful festival, and no matter the rain, it still was a big success, and I'm very proud of you. And it's really something to be, it's going to be a big memory for a lot of people. And as the next year goes and following years, it's just going to build more and more.
Well, I thank you for that, my love, and thank you for all of the support, throughout what really was a labor of love. You don't design an outdoor festival without having some backup plans in case of rain. But I have to admit, it was a very humbling experience. Things typically tend to go my way. And when it was very clear that the weather was not going to go my way on this, I had to wrestle with a couple of moments of, oh my gosh, can we actually pull this off? So Druid Fest is designed as a land-based festival. It was, to pay homage to land, sea, and sky, and therefore was designed in concert with the land. We're very lucky where we are located in Nyack. There's a beautiful park, Nyack Beach State Park, that has an upper plateau at the base of the cliffs of Red Hook Mountain. It also is down to the river, so there's a beautiful river walk there. And it couldn't have been more perfect for up to the sky and down to the sea, or in this case, the river, being on the land. So the natural landscape itself really informed how that festival was going to be designed. And so we had people check in at Modern Druid. They were supposed to take the short walk down the hill, down Hudson. It's half a block to the upper lawn of Memorial Park,
yes,
where our vendor village was supposed to be. And from there, buses would take folks to Nyack Beach State Park, to the plateau, where we had performances scheduled. Diatima Arts, which is an incredible circus, theater, acrobatics, and
fire dances.
Performers. Like just Anna and Mike, a big shout out to the owners of Diatima Arts for their incredible work. Absolutely beautiful artistry that they communicate out to the world in the form of these performances. And so Diatima Arts is performing there, and then Seance, which is by Tamlin Miller and Ermin Peck. An absolutely glorious.
Oh, I'm going to get them on the podcast.
Oh gosh, it'd be beautiful to talk through the process. Yeah, and perhaps I won't go into so much detail. Anybody listening to this can go to.
Oh, we have beautiful birds. By the way,
we'll jump into that. Can go to Druid Fest, DRUIDFEST.com, where you can sort of read about how the festival was designed and who all was engaged in it. But just suffice to say, Tamlin and Ermin. Tamlin's work is really informed by communication with the plants, and so her songs are odes to the plants in many respects.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So those performances were due to go on the plateau, outdoors, along with our eco-educators. We had a number of people there, and wild birds that came in from Silent Wings.
I'm so excited like that. That's my little child in me.
Well, look, I mean, we had an eagle owl, a barred owl,
a falcon,
the
little barn owl. We did the same.
The barred owl was the bigger one. The little owl was the screech owl.
Oh, he's so
tiny
cute.
Little screech owl that was in this sort of log.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to steal Hootie, the screech owl, because Hootie was.
And we had the
adorable.
Turkey vulture.
And then we had Clarice, the turkey vulture, who just kept putting her wings around everybody's shoulders. She just wanted to hug everybody.
Yeah, it was very cute.
She's an absolute love.
Amazing.
And a raven.
The raven. The raven was really cool.
Yes, it just was incredible. So a beautiful festival, but we had to then pull all of our vendors off of Memorial Park and into the boathouse. We had the boathouse down at the river, which is within Nyack Beach State Park, move our performances and our eco-educators into the boathouse as well. And then our healers, so we had sound baths, Courtney with her beautiful electric harp, Teresa doing guided meditations, Mayura doing Reiki. We had to move them to the community room at the library. Huge shout out to Nyack Library for allowing us to pivot last minute on Friday to come up with a room for us, be able to move all of that in and make all of that work and staff it for us for Saturday so we could do that. I can only say Druid Fest ran on all of the volunteers, all of the healers, the performers, and everybody else that turned out to make it a success, and then all of the people that showed up regardless of the weather.
Yes.
I mean, absolutely.
And all the people and shout out to all the people who actually bought tickets and didn't show up. Thank you for your support either way.
Yes.
If you didn't get to show up.
Yep.
And next year, I feel like we're talking about time frames. We don't know, but
well, it's an annual festival.
It's going to be an annual festival.
We don't design something this all-encompassing as a once-off. That just doesn't make any sense. So.
No, and I feel like it's going to be such a build-up. I mean, I think, and I give this all the hard work that you did on this. You pulled it off no matter what, right? And it was really amazing. And I think next year it's going to be even bigger. And we're going to try and shoot for like 500. I think that we can get that many people to come because I think more people are going to want to come, and I think the organization is already kind of set. And I saw all the stuff that you went through. I saw Morgana go through a lot of stress and
structure is everything. Planning and structure.
And so it's kind of like, we had kind of a nice groundwork now where you can just build off it like anything. Like even this podcast or anything that you start, you're going to start off a little bit. What are we going to do? And, because we've been planning this podcast for months and months and months. And then it's like, I have to do this thing because it's calling to us. And this is really what we had to do. But going back to the festival, it's really, I think as time goes by and the festival is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger every year. And I'm really looking forward to it because it's really inspiring.
Well, it's a celebration. Again, of the land, right? But it's a celebration of the things that are real and the things that are true. There are very few things that are true in this world. I like to say truth truly doesn't exist. It's all perspective, right? What's true for me is not what's true for you. And so what is truth? Truth inherently is personal and individualistic. So So when we use that word, things that are true, we really need to think about what that means. So the truest things are the things that are not predicated on what somebody thinks about them. And so nature is probably the truest thing that exists. So creating a festival around what is real allows us to ground back into the nature of ourselves.
Yes.
There is chaos in the world at the moment. There always has been chaos in the world. That is the nature of the world. We are in a physical world that is designed for contrast. So, war and peace are opposite ends of the spectrum, and we slide up and down the scale year in, year out, depending on the country, depending on the politics, depending on the era. All of these things exist and continue to persist despite our best intentions. And so to me, designing Druid Fest was about giving us an opportunity to step outside of the illusions of all of our perceptions and re-engage with the things that are real and the things that we all can agree are true. The sky is true. The earth is true.
The ocean,
the land is true.
The land, the water.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, people are true in this sense, right? I mean, I think what happens is, there always is these contrasts. You have to have love and hate. There is these different things, and it's hard for people to accept those things, but that is really how it is. And I think when you bring in all these people together and everybody has these different beliefs and truths within themselves, right? But there is the truth of love and enjoying other watching people's performances like Diatema, watching and listening to great music and seeing people's smiles on their faces at the festival, and then you smiling and they smile back at you like, oh, this is great, isn't it? There is this energy that is created, and that, yes, we can create it. Can we sustain always happiness? No, that is not the purpose of our life. Our purpose of our life is to live within these different, like you said, contrasts, right? But at that moment, it was raining out, and everybody was like, we're doing the thing, man. This is it. It was really fun. And the last thing was the fire dance
in the pouring rain.
And they did it anyways because they're just amazing.
I mean, what a way to conclude Druid Fest with fire and water.
Well, I mean, isn't it the accepting of like rain and water? Because that is a truth, right? But it's also like, hey, this is life. It's gonna rain, man. We're still gonna do this thing because there's nothing bad about rain. Actually, rain is awesome. That's one of my favorite parts of like weather. I love rain. I could sleep during the rain. I could, there's something about that water, and it's like, no, it's okay. We're gonna be wet, but it's gonna be warm. And me and my son were like underneath the tree right next to it, and we heard this caw. It was like this huge crow. He or she was just calling out everything that's going on, how great everything is. And I mean, it kept going. Fully participating. So this is like, it was really great, I don't want to keep going on how great it is because it was, but you can go on druidfest.com.
That's okay. Our listeners will get to experience.
You can go on Instagram. You have an Instagram for it, right? Druid Fest.
Yeah. So there's the Instagram. Druid Fest. Yeah. There's the website. I'll make some updates and add a gallery so that we can actually show all of the wonderful photos. Yeah, my son is an avid photographer, car photographer, and he was our photographer for the day. So he's in the process of editing and preparing those photographs, and we'll create a gallery on the website and build from there. The feedback that we've gotten, I've received so many wonderful messages, direct messages on Instagram, emails. The vendors had a wonderful day out, so I absolutely want to acknowledge all the attendees
who
shopped. We obviously curated very carefully the vendors that we wanted to have there. They're all makers, crafters. All of this stuff is hand done, exquisite pieces.
Amazing creators.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And so the
shout out to Maddie.
Yeah. Shout out to Maddie, to Claudia, to Roxanne, to all kinds. All of our vendors are really exceptional, and the attendees really I think appreciated. I've got a lot of messages about how exceptional the craftsmanship was, and that's beautiful. The leather work that Huronor does, and their garments and clothing. We could call out, all 22, I think, in all made it into the boathouse that day. We had some that were sick and some that couldn't make it, but. And I'll interlink all of the vendors on the
Oh,
website
that would be great.
So, yeah,
yes.
I have a lot of work to post.
Yeah, you got a lot of work to do, including irregular work.
Yeah, but dropping a couple of breadcrumbs about Druid Fest too. Through all of these messages, there's been a tremendous call for not just as being an annual event, but when are you doing the next thing under Druid Fest? And so that actually has sort of already given birth. I had talked to a friend the other day and said this is like a streamer that you put on a bicycle wheel,
right?
You know, as the wheel turns, these sort of streamers go out, but they're pulling things back in with them. And that's truly what it feels like having launched Druid Fest. We put it out there, and it's pulled in so much more that
it gave us some inspiration.
It's given us great inspiration, but it is also now already. There's a bunch of little things that are popping up around Druid Fest. So stay tuned. Yes, the Druid Fest will be the anchor for an annual festival that we will continue to build out and grow year over year, same as we have with Spirit of South Broadway, which is doubling in size this October. But I think we also are going to be able to layer in a number of seasonal things under the Druid Fest banner, given the response and the reaction that we've had so far. So
I think it'd be great.
I will leave that there.
Yeah. I mean, right now we're actually creating the magazine, which actually we started talking about before, because that was, I think what the festival kind of created was, hey, we got to get the podcast launched. Why don't we create a magazine, something that's different? And so it has like spawned off these little things, which is...
Well, this is a great point about rightful timing, right? So there's a number of things that have been in the works for a particularly long period of time. Putting the podcast on air has been a long time in the making. You had the wonderful Positive Occult podcast, which is 4 or 5 years ago now. And unfortunately, that needed to be pulled off air due to some personal challenges. And so staying off the air for a prolonged period of time was a very deliberate choice, and waiting for the right time to be able to come back on the air to talk about the things that are really important and meaningful to us and to so many other people needed to come into form in the right time and in the right progression. At the same time, so many other things building around that, not to give too much away, but there is a school in the works. The magazine has been in the works. The festival is in the works. The podcast is in the works. And so being able to figure out, when do certain things roll out? When we try and force things, when we try and push too hard, when we're very much in our thinking spaces instead of our feeling spaces, we tend to push things and knock things out of the natural order. Right? Nature is a master at showing us how things unfold in response to various challenges, right? And so waiting as we create it, laying those seeds, allowing things to actually germinate, things to in fact sprout. Not all things grew. Some things wilted on the vine.
Yeah, you can't force a seed to grow. It's just going to do its natural course.
Right. Yes. And so what resulted then, we thought we'd do the school, the podcast, a festival. What actually happened is the festival, podcast, and now the magazine has appeared out of nowhere. The magazine is all encompassing in terms of it's not focused on one genre. It's very much a lifestyle magazine. It's a way for us to be able to pull in and park all of the pieces that actually enhance our life. And so that's a thrilling undertaking. I have experience in designing magazines and my professional life.
These are for digital magazines, by the way. Yes. It's a digital magazine.
It's a digital magazine with a print option, so that you can actually have a physical magazine in your hand. Should you want to order that option, it gets delivered right to your door. Digitally, it can be viewed on the website, which will be moderndruidmagazine.com.
Yes.
And it is very much a wonderful pivot from a business magazine that we brought into form a number of years ago, probably 10 years ago now, that lived on a platform, was a wonderful way to be able to bring that professional community together. And so pulling this into its new form under Modern Druid Magazine allows us to have the same range and scope to bring in all of the things that are relevant to the lifestyle. And so what is the lifestyle? What is the Druid lifestyle, right? It is walking that path of creativity. It is being in harmony with nature. It is the love of all existences. And therefore, we'll be covering all kinds of spiritualities, all kinds of methodologies, healing modalities. Creativity is at the heart of Druidry as well. And so what does it mean to be a creative? That's the arts, that's architecture, that's poetry, that's writing, that's imagining, it's a dreaming. It's visual, textural, even obviously auditory. So music is such a creative process as well. And so bringing all of those things into form, food, drink. I love the art of a great cocktail. Mocktail or cocktail doesn't need to be alcoholic. Just creating elixirs and various substances.
I think it's
love
like
in
beautiful.
And of itself.
I mean, it's a way of just exploring life.
Julie, love that.
Exploring life, experimenting, going
that's
out.
Our tagline. Modern Druid Magazine, exploring life.
Exploring.
I love that.
I mean, like, what did the great, how, people, okay, how did we create these things? Everything is always about exploring an idea, right? And experimenting with an idea and then making the changes from, I mean, I'm sure Michelangelo and all of them didn't create these great things just by one shot, even though they probably did some of them. I mean, it's multiple times of experimenting with different things
You start somewhere and you build. And I think that's what's lovely about the community that we've built. Modern Druid is in its 5th year now. And the community that has grown around our little offering is tremendous. And sure, people come and go. They take from it what they need. They bring to it whatever gifts they want to contribute. But the community itself around that has really grown and developed, and I think helped us evolve. That would take a lot of contemplation to really think through. But we have matured in ways that are unexpected. And when Modern Druid was first envisioned and launched, May 1st, 2021, really just wanted to create a space that people could come together. It was in the middle of COVID, the height of COVID. We were looking to almost create a refuge where people could come and just take a deep breath out and just allow themselves to be, to settle, to connect, to engage in ways that previously had not really been thought of.
Right.
So here we are 5 years later, still growing, still thriving, developing more and more, anchoring in to really sort of demonstrate the fruits of our labor, so to speak, and inviting more and more into the community through platforms like this to reach a wider audience. So we're not just contained within the 4 physical walls of Modern Druid in Nyack, but being able to really outreach and also pull in at the same time. I love that analogy of that little flyer that you put in the spokes of your bike wheel, right? As the wheel spins, so these streamers stream, they expand out, but they also pull in, and I think that's just a wonderful analogy for all of the things that we're trying to do.
Well, I think that we should conclude.
Yes.
Also, real quick, we have to give I guess we should we also sell our perfume line, and I guess you'd say our intentional oil line, Sulphur and Mercury.
Yeah, so the things that are original and unique to Modern Druid, Eric and I created Sulphur and Mercury, very odd name for a ritual scent line, but that has some very deep meaning for us. Sulphur and Mercury combined creates vermilion, and that has some very special meaning for us. Should you get to come to the store or go on sulphurandmercury.com, you'll learn a little bit more about that. We also have a wonderful herbal smoke line that Eric developed a couple of years ago, and so there are 6 different versions. I think you're building out a couple more.
Yeah, I want to start building out a couple more.
Yeah, they're herbal cigarettes. Tea tokes are also referred to. It doesn't contain any THC or cannabis. It is truly working with plant medicines themselves. So, blue lotus, mugwort, mullein, those sorts of herbs.
Each one of them has a specific purpose for meditation or an aphrodisiacs. And I really enjoyed creating them. At first it was like, is this something I really can do? And I just kind of let it flow and let's let the whatever nature, I guess, come to me and, hey, use these herbs for this and this and that. And so I'm kind of like itching to start a new one, a new type of smokes. So, I
mean, you've done, research into the herbs. You're actually now studying
more herbs
under the ovate grade, in the order of bards, ovates, and druids.
Yes.
G, as well as divination. And so it'll be really fun to see where that leads you, right, into the next iteration of herbal smokes, and maybe teas, and who else knows what's going to, sort of be created by you, from there.
Yeah.
And then we have the OGHAM oils line, which are blended oils, intentional oils related to the ancient Celtic alphabet of the Ogham. And each of those symbol letters, also known as Fida, are interlinked with trees, many other correspondences, but primarily trees. And so they're blends that take the healing properties of the trees, correlate those to essential oils, and then blend them in so we can very tangibly and physically work with the tree medicine itself in the form of these blends. Then we also have a line of sigil candles.
Yes.
So sigil
that you
candles,
created, they're really amazing.
That also incorporate essential oils into it, herbs and some crystals.
Yes.
So they are very, very highly charged. And then I'm a Reiki master, so infusing those with Reiki energy as well, of course. So those are a wonderful line as well that people can explore and investigate. And now we are moving into chakra candles. That aligns very nicely with the work that you do with the Aura machine, which reads the bioelectromagnetic energy from the body, translates it through a sensor. So people put their hand on a sensor. The sensor reads that biomagnetic energy, converts that into measuring the chakras at the various hertz frequency, creates an aura. And I love your work, the work that you're doing with that in helping guide people through what they can do to work with their chakras, to be able to move certain blockages, etc. So maybe talk a little bit about Mindful Compass and the work that you're doing there. Because in addition to these physical tools, then we also have all of these mindful counseling tools.
Well, I mean, quickly, I guess I would say Mindful Compass is something that we started doing the Aura machine, I'm like, I would usually give a lot of guidance to people, with about their chakras and their energy work and like what's going on in your life and different blockages, because you want your energy to flow through your body freely. And said, okay, well, that's great, but I need to like do some other things with that. So I figured I want to do some things like using some divination work, like runes. I don't want to get into that now, but you can look that up. It's RUNES. I've studied it for spiritual counseling, got my diploma in that, and to do some, not necessarily therapy work. I don't want people to get confused. It's, I guess I don't even want to call that life coaching, because I feel like it's such a terrible term.
It's
spiritual counseling. Yeah. Probably a few other things that I've been kind of looking into, but it's more Mindful Compass is just that it's a compass to kind of guide you to the direction that you want to go. But it's always also about what I talk when I talk to people. It's like, you have to do the work. I'm just there to help you. And then it's up to them to do the work. I'm not going to be your guru. I'm not going to be your healer. I am there to just whatever the ancestors or nature or the universe is kind of telling me to guide you. Hopefully you go that direction, and you can see what goes from there. It's not an answer to everything, but it is I guess a revelation of what direction, I guess. That's why it's a compass.
That's right. Yeah. It unfolds really beautifully, and using the Aura machine as sort of the primary tool to measure where a person's at, and then being able to sort of hone in on those areas of work is really powerful.
Yes, and I'm a meditation teacher, so meditation and breath work also encompassed in that, and actually working out routines, because I do own a gym.
Yes,
and I feel it's it's mind, body, soul. But it's also ether and, strength. Your body has to be strong in order to encapsulate this spirit that you carry around. My always saying is people care more about their cars, like keeping them nice and everything, than they care about their body, which actually holds their soul or the spirit or whatever you want to believe. And they don't take care of that enough. And that's what actually carries you around in this world, to enjoy the world and see the world. You have to be healthy. You want to, once your body starts hurting and everything, you just can't concentrate on anything else. I mean, you want to put, diesel fuel in a gas tank. You know what I mean? You want to keep yourself healthy. So I kind of like use that whole kind of theory to, okay, you could spiritually think about this, but you also have to work out. You also have to, because that's a stress reliever. You also have to, change your lifestyle a little bit,
Mind, body, spirit.
Mind, body, spirit. Everybody always says that mind, body, spirit, right? It's always like this kind of like mind, body, spirit thing. But I really believe in the mind, body. Like, you have to do these things.
Yes, one thing affects the other.
Absolutely. It's so much.
Yeah,
so much.
And I have to admit, like, even, I've been, super lazy about working out and stuff, but having the opportunity for us to work out routinely. Like you've been really wonderful about sort of coaching me along and saying, okay, come on, we need to get out and get a workout in, etc. Really makes a difference. Truly makes a difference to clarity of focus. Yeah. I'm a pretty hyper focused person for the most part.
Yes.
But I really, feel the difference in that, but also the difference in your body. I mean, just being able to get more oxygen into your body, being able to, and we're going to have to do an episode on this about the fascia, the latest science on the fascia, about how that literally is everything that creates movement within the body.
Oh,
right?
totally.
We've been so focused on the joints and bones and muscles.
It's actual covering.
Whereas, the fascia is actually what allows everything to truly move within the body. But we'll talk about that some other time. We are getting on to 45 minutes.
Okay, so anyways, so let's conclude. Yes. But hopefully you will enjoy this and take this journey with us. I have a meditation that's coming out. I mean, this will be out and then the meditation will be out right out. Literally the same day.
Meditation Mondays.
Yes, meditation
Mondays. What we're focusing on, and then standing up a schedule around routinely having guests on to talk about various things. As we said, there's a gamut to run when we're talking about lifestyle, and so we really look forward to having artists and healers and all kinds of folks.
We actually we do have some great people that are going to be scheduled that said yes, they would love to do the podcast.
Beautiful,
good,
and
right?
we'll post out that schedule. So I think on our platform here, we're able to actually post a schedule ahead of time so that people can see what's coming.
I don't know if that's on there specifically, but we're going to make a website too, correct? Is that something we're going to do for the podcast?
Yeah. So, so we have a number of assets that we will put here on the platform that people can engage in. And of course, we'll always post things out onto Instagram, Modern Druid Nyack, so that we're able to sort of alert people as to what's coming next there. So we'll do that.
Okay. So anyways,
and so
thank you so much.
We're off.
Yes, we've kicked it off.
But, thank you for staying with us.
Yes, thank you for staying with us.
Minutes.
If you did, or maybe you tuned us off or forwarded it, that's fine.
and any ideas, if there's anything in particular you'd really like to hear about, we'll be covering, as you mentioned, in addition to guests, in addition to Meditation Mondays, we will be touching it. So Voices in the Grove is pretty much our guest series. We also will be focusing on mythology, spiritualities, various other things like that too. So we'll be taking deeper dives into those. So any requests for any particular types of topics, we would be happy to entertain that.
Yes.
And we look forward to being on here again real soon.
Yes, very much. So thank you. Thank you for listening. Okay.